Yo, what is up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video where today we are going to be going through the Taiwanese Play Pokemon Regional, where YoDada30 was able to send me in his footage, and we're going to see him go on a run and compete against all the best Taiwanese battlers for 2 spots at the Yokohama World Championships, or I should say the Pokemon World Championships in Yokohama, Japan later this year. So he's going to be rocking with a pretty meta team of Galarian Stunfisk, Lantern, Medicham, Noctowl, Sableye, and one unique meta breaker in Shadow Abomasnow, who I'm a big fan of. And we're going to see how he goes through this tournament. Taiwan regionals was a little bit different than some of the North American regionals you may have seen me or other battlers compete in. These were remote, and the other major difference being remote rather than in person is also they had the ability to see their opponent's moves on their team sheets before the game. So move sets are like public knowledge to opponents, and also it's remote, of course. So slightly different, but overall the same. All best of 3s, top 2 get a spot in Worlds, and yeah, they didn't get a stream of their own, so we're bringing the content for you here. If you like this type of content, spend a little bit extra time making some different team graphics, feel free to hit that like button. I'd very much appreciate it. Share this video with your friends. And without further ado, let's get into it. YoDada30. We will take a brief moment to look at the team comps, but I think the unique picks with his opponent, of course, have to be the Venusaur and the Toxapex. Toxapex looks pretty decent against YoDada's team. And also the Azumarill looks pretty decent as well. Only really needing to avoid the Lantern and the Abomasnow. Isn't horrible for Azu, but definitely not very good. The Venusaur could be a little bit problematic if it lands on the Lantern, so maybe you don't want to fall into that RPS. And Altaria as well has to avoid the Abomasnow and the G-Fisk. But we'll not spend too much time going over the teams. We'll get straight into it. And this is round 1. YoDada30 against AK Aang. And for some of these players, I'll have their team graphics, or rather their player cards from Sylph as their graphic. And that number 30 you see next to AK Aang, 30th ranked player from Taiwan on sylph.gg. And here we are, by the way, in the Medicham versus Toxapex match. Very nice counting from YoDada, as you'd expect. A player, by the way, who just the other day reached number 2 on the GBL Global Leaderboards. And now we're going to see a shield come up from Medicham. Medicham is going to be able to outpace to Psychics before the Toxapex can reach Sludge Waves. We're going to see a Psychic Unleashed, knocks out the Toxapex. Opponent AK Aang is content with the shield advantage, it seems. And now Azu could potentially put in a lot of work here. Azu up a shield. We see the hard swap into Noctowl, looking dapper with a hat. And Azumarill is going to be able to get off an Ice Beam, knocking Noctowl to below 50% health. We've got the Sky Attack coming through. You know what's kind of funny is the moves are in... I don't want to sound like an uneducated American, I'm sorry, but I believe they speak Mandarin in Taiwan. You guys can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Rise, that's so embarrassing. You don't even know what language they speak in Taiwan. I'm sorry. I want to say it's Mandarin. I could be wrong. But we are going to see a Venusaur in the back, and this looks pretty dang scary, to be honest. Oh, but gets the catch on the Medicham. Oh, what an unbelievable catch. Is this going to be enough to flip the game, though? Can Sableye get rid of this Venusaur? That looked like a potential charge move priority. And it is. And I don't know if Sableye can hang on here. Frenzy is just such a hard-hitting move. Frenzy Plant coming through, a little bit of latency, and it is going to knock out Sableye. So look at that. First game of the tournament, by the way. I mean, we're not going to give away anything. We don't know how YoDada's going to finish this tournament, wink, wink. But keep that in mind. Lost his very first game of the tournament. Let's see how he can keep his mental fortitude and keep coming back. Positive lead here in game 2. Medi into G-Fisk. Standard Medi move set. And the opponent safe swaps Altaria, which is a very bold safe swap, I have to say, considering there's an Abomasnow on Yodada's team. That's a very bold safe swap. But gonna chip with the Ice Punch and then come in with the Noctowl. I do like this play quite a bit. And Noctowl is probably not quite in Rock Slide range either. So if they let Altaria go here, which they do, you're going to need probably 2 Rock Slides to take out Nock. And Noctowl is going to be able to chip away with Shadow Ball. So it seems to be in a pretty confident position. That Rock Slide did a little bit more than I thought, actually. So G-Fisk should be able to Mudshot down here. I wonder if that's like a breakpoint Noctowl with a higher attack. I'm not sure. G-Fisk probably has enough energy to threaten the Earthquake, and it did look like an Earthquake. But Medicham's going to go for a full farm down. Was this enough already for an Earthquake? No, just a Rock Slide. And there is the Venu once again, but this time Medicham is just loaded with energy. Going to be able to get off multiple moves here. Goes for the Ice Punch. I like this play a lot. Baiting the Psychic, going for the Ice Punch. And now you don't even necessarily need to reveal your third Pokemon, I believe. You could go either or. Use the shield here. Just go straight for the Psychic, knowing he's going to outpace. This might one-shot from here. Boom! Knocks out the Venu. And doesn't even need to reveal the third Pokemon. Game number 3. Decisive game 3 of round number 1. AK Aang against Yodada. We see the safe swap G-Fisk this time met by the Medicham. And you see AK Aang punished this time around for swapping something that isn't so safe. G-Fisk is going to land the Earthquake. But Medicham will be able to outpace and potentially knock out before another Earthquake. Going for the Ice Punch here. Doesn't want to take any extra damage. And actually draws a shield. Wow, actually draws a shield. G-Fisk wants to get off this move. It is the Earthquake. Gonna get the full counter down, and Medi's still relatively healthy. You kind of have to just stay, but that's totally fine because you get to the Psychic and you have your alignment. You have Sableye aligned with the Medicham, and there's just nowhere for this energy now to go. Sableye's just going to take Ice Punches, no problem. Doesn't do very much, and there you have it. This is going to be game over. Shadow Abomasnow looking mean. I was going to say looking lean, looking mean, but I don't know if Obama's lean. Is he lean? I don't know. Or is that just like... Is that just like his like outer coat? Anyway. That was kind of weird commentary. Anyway. We see Yodada secure a game 3 in round number 1. And now he's going to be going up against a player by the name of Walker in round number 2. So let me get rid of that and that. And now we see Walker 0623 rocking another fairly meta team. Lots of the same picks as Yodada, but we see a Trevenant and we see a Dunsparce. Dunsparce has been one of the more unique picks in these Play Pokemon regionals because of its ability to core break a lot of teams, beating things like Noctowl, Trevenant, Sableye, Lantern, and some more picks as well. So if you look at Yodada's team, that Dunsparce core breaks it a bit, beating the Lantern, the Abomasnow, the Noctowl, and the Sableye. Medicham and G-Fisk are pretty reliable counters for the Dunsparce. And the problem with Dunsparce is even the things that it quote-unquote beats, it's usually more of soft wins. Like, it's more of a soft win, I would say, against Lantern. A soft win against Sableye, against Noctowl, even Abomasnow. Because it doesn't get same type attack bonus. So you have to be careful with it. But you really need to be overly concerned with it, in my humble opinion. Round number 2. Yodada against Walker. and it's a Medicham into a Noctowl lead. Now, he's ABA weak to the Noctowl, meaning he's got Medicham weak to it in the lead. He's also got a Sableye weak to it in the back. So maybe content just playing out this lead matchup, trying to chip this Noctowl as much as possible, and hoping Sableye is going to have a lot of play in the back. You have to also think from Walker's side, it's unlikely there's going to be a Dunsparce in the back. Okay, what does Rise know? I was going to say unlikely there's going to be a Dunsparce in the back because that would be ABA weak to G-Fisk. However, as we know, both Noctowl and Dunsparce have play against G-Fisk. It's not necessarily the worst matchup in the world. We're going to see some nice timing here from Yodada, throwing after 4 wing attacks, looking to land the Sky Attack here, and he does so. Now Dunsparce throwing with proper timing as well. Rock Slide will threaten to knock out. We're going to see the second Protect Shield come up relatively early and just wants to make sure he gets off this Sky Attack before another move comes through from Dunsparce. Dunsparce shields, goes for the snipe. Opponent predicted the snipe, swapping in his Medi to preserve the Dunsparce. This is some high-level gameplay in only round number 2. And now we've got Medi on Medi. Remember, there is still a Noctowl lurking in the back for the opponent that this Sableye is going to have to deal with. However, I believe the Noctowl was just about in foul play range. It had already taken an Ice Punch plus a lot of counter damage. So we're going to see the full farm down. Sableye's got so much energy. Looks at the typing, throws the foul play, knowing Dunsparce had a move. And now do you just force this Noctowl to throw energy? You do. Sableye may even live a Sky Attack from here, and it does not. Can Noctowl get to a move? It cannot. And what a crazy round 2. Impressive plays all around as Walker wins game 1 and is going to send this to a game 2. Wow. Tough lead here in game number 2. Abomasnow versus Dunsparce. However, like we mentioned, Rock Slide and Rollout non-stab. It does not have same type attack bonus. So Abomasnow should be able to live a Rock Slide here if it wants and can get off another Weather Ball. But we're going to see Yodada preserve the health here. Get off his second Weather Ball. Will we see a shield come up from Walker? We will. Wants to preserve the Dunsparce. Now, after these rollouts, Abomasnow starting to approach Rock Slide range. We see beautiful timing as per usual. Weather Ball would knock out from here. Are we going to see a shield come up? We are. Are we going to see a catch? No, we're not. Nice patience from Walker. But with this Dunsparce now low and a potential farm looming, this could pose trouble for Walker. Dunsparce putting in a ton of work, getting to another Rock Slide here. We see the swap into the Noctowl now. That is 2 normal types revealed. That is 2 normal types revealed. Oh, we actually see the swap into save. That is surprising. That is surprising. I thought we were going to see Noctowl just stay in and chip and then close with Sabe. Going for the return on CMP. This is going to leave Noctowl low enough to farm down. But man, I don't know if Noctowl can even beat a Medi here in the back. I wonder if it's... Oh, I wonder if it's a Trev. I wonder if it's a Trev. It is a Trev. And this is one of probably the only thing Noctowl could have beaten with this health disadvantage. And this Trevenant is so low, you just have to avoid the catch on the Dunsparce. Incredible patience. Yodada saw it coming a mile away and has double Sky Attack. But all you need is 1 to beat the Trev. And round 2, another decisive game 3. Noctowl mirror match. Don't want it any other way. Decisive game 3. It starts with a mirror lead. And G-Fisk in the back looking to make his first appearance on the day, I think, for Yodada. We're going to see a CMP tie. The Party Hat Noctowl does seem to be taking a little bit more damage in a terrific catch from the opponent. However, this is going to lure out the Medicham, and you have to think at this point it is definitely a Dunsparce in the back. So from Walker's perspective, he's trying to lure out the Medicham to free up the Dunsparce. But little does he know, there is a Galarian Stunfisk lurking in the back. Beautiful counting here from Yodada. And although his opponent caught the Sky Attack, it's going to allow Medicham to come out of here with even more energy thanks to that chip damage. And are we going to see a shield come up from Medi? We are. Wants to get off that next Ice Punch. We're going to see Ice Punch. Was that like a double CMP that he did? Hard swap into G-Fisk, and it's met by Dunsparce. And this is a losing matchup for Dunsparce, because although Drill Run hits for super effective, as you're going to see, rollouts do virtually nothing. And we're actually seeing a Rock Slide bait here and gets the shield, knowing that was the most likely position where Walker was going to expend a shield. That is a crazy good read. Another Drill Run's going to be coming through here shortly, but the rollouts doing almost 0 damage. They're doing, I believe, 1 damage each rollout. You can hardly see the damage over the course of a 3-turn move. Elects to actually let the G-Fisk go, thinking that his remaining Pokemon can get the job done. Actually gets the farm down with Noctowl and can simply go for the Sky Attack as the Mighty Owl swoops down, defeating the Dunsparce and getting some revenge. Here we go. Match number 3. You get a sneak peek at the leads, as we are going to see Yodada take on... sorry. Trying to find the... Trying to find the... Boom. Taking on Gamebird. And Gamebird actually has the mirror team, with the exception of having Shadow Nidoqueen as the flex pick over Shadow Abomasnow. How does the Nidoqueen stack up against Yodada's team? Does pretty well against Abomasnow, does pretty well against Medi, decent against Noctowl, gonna struggle a little more against Sableye and G-Fisk, and then kind of a weird matchup against Lantern, where Lantern can hit for those super effective Surfs, which are gonna do a lot, but Nidoqueen can also threaten with that devastating Earth power. Noctowl into Shadow Nidoqueen here in round number 3. At this point, I believe this is to get to the winners final. So this is the winners semifinals. We're already approaching like the top 8, top 6 sort of range. Shield comes up from Nidoqueen. We're going to see the safe swap Medi met by the Noctowl. It's a bit of an aggressive swap, knowing that there could be a Sableye to greet your Medicham. And actually, I'm looking at the team. I think there might actually be a Trevenant. So my mistake. I think there might actually be a Trevenant instead of the Sableye. So keep that in mind if we do see that, because that surprised me that Yodada would swap a Medi if there was a Sableye on their team. I think it's actually a Trev, which isn't quite as bad for Medi. So keep that in mind. We're looking to swap out. It's going to be Sableye up 2 shields. And you know this is likely a bait. And it is. It is a Poison Fang bait, but it's so tough to call, knowing that if you call it incorrectly, you simply just lose. The Earth Power does so much damage. So it's a very tough call to make. And look at that. It's a Medicham in back. Sableye, just such a dominant matchup here. Can probably just shield to be safe at this point, and return should just about knock out from here. But gonna go for double foul play instead to be safe. I think return might have, yeah, return would have been enough at that point, but double foul play is gonna do more than 1 return. So Yodada, perhaps just knowing that he can safely get off 2 foul plays, wanted to ensure the knockout here. Sableye takes down Medi. That is a game 1 win for Yo Dada. Game number 2, Sableye into Lantern. Let's see what fast move the Lantern's running. It is Spark, Safe Swap G-Fisk, and there's the Trev that we mentioned is on Gamebird's team rather than a Sableye. Rock Slide is coming through. Puts this Trevenant close to half health. Rock Slides do about 40% to Trevenant, and the Mud Shots do slowly add up over time. So I like to say that this is not the most comfortable matchup for Trev. A lot of people like to consider Trev a G-Fisk counter. In my opinion, this is a very close, even matchup. I think it's a slightly favorable matchup for Trev rather than calling it a counter per se. Rock Slide coming through. Grabs a shield, and we see the snipe, and we see the quick swap into the Noctowl. Now, this team was ABA weak to the Abomasnow. We already saw the Lantern, right? We already saw the Lantern, so opponent decides to come in with the Noctowl. Took the Weather Ball. Do they even get to another Sky attack? They don't. And now Abomasnow has all this energy. All this energy with a Lantern waiting. Goes for the Energy Ball. Lantern should reach a Surf here before another Energy Ball, but is Surf enough? Well, this opponent needs Surf to be enough here. Otherwise, they're going to take some hefty damage. Surf does knock out. Surf does knock out. Now you have the option here of what you want to come in with. I believe Sableye wins the zeros. I could be mistaken, but I think double foul play plus Shadow Claws is enough. Oh my goodness. We've seen multiple crazy catches in this tournament from Yo Dada. Goes for the foul play now, knowing double foul play is enough at this point. There is the catch opportunity and just the absurd patience on display from Yo Dada, playing out of his mind, out of his gourd. And knocks out the Lantern. Let's go, dude. Very impressive stuff. So that was the winners semis. This is now the winners finals, as we are going to see Yo Dada take on Gray number 1. And if we look at Gray number 1's team, we see Lickitung make his first appearance of the video. So lots of the same picks, but a Toxapex, a Sableye, and a Lickitung. Lickitung, how does he fare up against Yo Dada's team? We haven't seen him yet. Does pretty well against Sableye, does pretty well against Lantern, pretty neutral against Abomasnow and Medicham, and then has to watch out a little bit for G-Fisk and Noctowl. So I think we could see Lickitung make an appearance for sure, but let's see how Gray number 1 tries to take on Yo Dada. Positive lead for Yo Dada. Noctowl into Medicham. Medicham can win the zero shield scenario here, usually winning CMP against most Noctowls. But we do have the suspicion that this could be a high attack Noctowl from Yo Dada. We don't know for sure, but it has appeared that way based off the damage in some of these matchups. We saw the catch attempt on Sableye. You don't see this too often. Sableye swapping into a Noctowl, not out of that matchup, swapping into this matchup. Noctowl getting off 2 Sky attacks. Gray number 1 immediately in a difficult spot here. Takes both of them. Gonna get off the foul play. Will we see a shield come up? We will not. Doesn't feel like it's worth it. Gonna water gun down with Lantern. I think this is the first time we're seeing Lantern from Yo Dada. What's going to greet this Lantern? Oh my gosh, the Toxapex. And at this point, I think you just win. You just do whatever you can here with Lantern. You don't shield it. You save a shield for Sableye and it's game over. Or just swap in Sableye now. I think that works too. Because the Medicham's already been chipped. Eats the brine. Toxapex just has to stay in here. Are we going to see a shield now? Yep, we are. Knowing how valuable this Sableye is. And Gray number 1's got to be. Knowing they're in a tough spot here. Double foul play. You really can't shield Toxapex at this point. You have to put it all on Medi. And this is just going to be too much for Medi to overcome. Sableye's not even in Ice Punch range just yet. We're going to see a move queued up from Medi. And foul play should be about enough to knock out from this range. Very nicely done. Gray number 1. Can he get a win? Can he force a game 3 here? Sableye, mere lead. And this is where IVs could come into play if we see an eventual charge move priority in this matchup. We're actually going to see a hard swap into the Lantern. And you know what? You look at Gray number 1's team, right? There's no grass type. Lickitung is the only thing with access to any sort of grass coverage. So Lantern is very safe against Gray number 1's team. And that's why Yodata felt comfortable to safe swap it here. Takes the Psychic. Going to be able to get off his Thunderbolt. May either get shield advantage or switch advantage at this point. Thunderbolt gets the shield. And now you have to wonder if that was the right call from Gray number 1. Because now Sableye can just Shadow Claw down and come out with energy. Medicham does get to another Ice Punch. But Sableye should hang on here. Sableye should hang on. Yodata knows it. Has the move. And we see a Galarian Stunfisk in the back. You got to swap out here immediately. Can't give that opposing G-Fisk extra farm. And we're going to see a potential Earthquake or a Rock Slide. And he calls the Rock Slide. Unbelievable. You know the opponent essentially has to bait. And you call it correctly. And now Yodata just in a very convincing spot here. Still has both of his shields. Going to finally elect to use one. All you need to do is go for 2 Rock Slides, which you should very easily get to. Sableye would need 3 foul plays in a sense, right? Because it would have to land 2 and also get that shield. So a very comfortable position here. Going to use the final Protect Shield. And a Rock Slide should knock out the Sableye, which is going to advance Yodata to the Grand Finals, where he has secured his spot in Yokohama, Japan, but he is still going to be fighting for that championship title and for that travel award. So in the Grand Finals, it is going to be Yodata in a rematch against Gamebird TW. And like we mentioned earlier, keep in mind, editor Chris made a mistake on the graphic. It is a Trevenant, not a Sableye on Gamebird's team. Noctowl versus Noctowl. Game number 1. I believe Yodata said it is still best of 3. It's still best of 3 for the whole tournament, even though this is the Grand Finals. And Noctowl mirror match. This Noctowl, though, he's having a party. He's got a bow tie. And we see the safe swap into the Nidoqueen. Are we going to see a shield come up here on the Sky Attack? We are not. Oh, and we actually see Abomasnow greeting the Nidoqueen after the chip damage, thinking that Abomasnow can shield once and farm all the way down. It takes a lot of damage in the process, but it does get the farm down and has a lot of energy to potentially get a shield back. Thinking only going to get to 1 move, might as well go for this hard-hitting energy ball and gets a shield. This is interesting. This is interesting. Noctowl obviously with the better matchup here, but Noctowl's behind energy and quite low on health. So coming in with the Medicham. Now what can Medicham do here? Going to take the Psychic, throw a Psychic of his own. Now this opposing Medicham is a few counters ahead. We swap the Noctowl. Almost have to shield at this point, I would say. No, not going to shield. This seems like a tough situation. I don't know if Yodata... I guess if you shield farm all the way down and then potentially bait the Ice Punch could be some sort of win con here. Going to get the full counter down. Going straight for the Psychic. This is a CMP, I think. Psychic gets the shield, and it is a CMP, and an Ice Punch would be enough, obviously. It's just a pup. But it's enough anyway, +1 counter to get the knockout. That's a game 1 win for Game Bird. He's trying to force the bracket reset. Good lead here in game number 2 for Yodada. We see the safe swap, Nidoqueen. Going to throw here first. I love this play to get the shield from Nido. And then we see the Sableye swap in. This is much more comfortable than having swapped the Sableye immediately behind Energy. We see a Poison Fang bait there. We see a Poison Fang bait. Will we see a shield come up from Nidoqueen? We will not. So now Noctowl probably comes back and can afford to overfarm here by quite a bit. And we're actually going to see Sableye go for the return, recognizing the opponent already has committed a shield, probably doesn't want to use their next shield. And although that does a lot of damage, it also gives Noctowl the opportunity to farm up a little bit more and potentially get to a Sky Attack here against Abomasnow if that's what Yodada comes in with. We see the swap Medi, and this looks like a tough position, man. You've got Medi on Medi down a counter. And we see a correct shield, I think. That looked... I wasn't sure what that was, actually. Psychic coming through. Lands. That's huge. Move coming through from opposing Medi. Wait a sec. Is this Medi running... Okay, it is running Pup Psychic. Big overfarm and wins the charge move priority. What does the opponent do here? They let it go. Gonna get off the Ice Punch, and then you have to swap here. Opposing Noctowl has to throw relatively quickly. Catches. Oh, no way, dude. Does Medi get to the Ice Punch here? It needs to. It needs to. And it does. With a sliver of health. Medicham hanging on by a thread. And Yodada stays alive in the grand finals. Oh my goodness. Decisive game 3. Yodada 1 win away from winning it all. And Game Bird needs to win to reset the bracket. Noctowl versus Noctowl. We've seen it a few times. We've seen a very similar situation, I believe, in game number 1, where Yodada was unable to win. This time, going to elect to stay in. I like this play. Gets the CMP. You also know that Poison Fang's not going to be enough here to knock out. Now you are faced with a problem, though, if they shield. I don't think you can afford to stay in and let yourself get farmed. So, yes, you have to go in Medi. Do you just absorb this? Do you just take the Earth Power? Save the shields for Abomasnow? No. Wants to preserve health, shields the Earth Power, keeps Medicham healthy. In comes the opposing Medicham, so it is a great thing. It was a great decision to keep this Medicham healthy. You're up energy here against the opposing Medicham, but there is still a Noctowl lurking in the back that I believe is relatively healthy. Psychic lands. We're going to see another Psychic come through here. Will we see the final shield come up? We will not. Putting it all in the Noctowl. Getting the farm down. Medi doesn't get to the Ice Punch. Has to shield the Abomasnow. Abomasnow can tank a Sky Attack, but not by much. Goes for the catch attempt. And this Noctowl throws energy. It throws energy. It could have farmed a little more, but it's so tough in these situations. Abomasnow needs to hang on here and get the Powder Snow down. It does hang on, and it gets the Powder Snow down. And it is a simul KO. It's a tie. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys can ever think of a situation where it came down to a decisive game in a regional tournament and they tied in the decisive game to win it all. Can you ever think of a situation where that happened? Beats me.
Instead, and let's see how it's going to go. No, Queen does not have a fly home.
Oh my goodness, this is a fast move off. And
we get a tie. We get a tie in game 5 of the grand finals.
Wink, wink. And we are going to see a game 4 out of 3 to decide the winner. Lantern into G-Fisk. Both trainers bringing new Pokemon. And this is a Water Gun Lantern into a G-Fisk. G-Fisk electing to stay in. You have to think that there's either a Nidoqueen or a Noctowl in the back where the opponent feels like their best play is to stay in. They swap the Medi. They're countered by the Sableye. And this is looking very convincing, excuse me, at the moment. Very convincing for Yodada at the moment. Sableye with a very dominant matchup here against the Metachamp. Can afford to take another move, can farm all the way down. If G-Fisk comes in, it's already in foul play range. You have to presume there is a Noctowl in the back. You have to think it's the Noctowl. G-Fisk comes in, forcing Sableye to expend some energy. Or is it a 2-shield Nidoqueen? It's a 2-shield Nidoqueen. But after using a shield here, I don't know if Nido has enough in the tank to close this out. Hard swap in Lantern. I love this play. And I think you just let it go. Because either they bait, which they do, or they have to expend all their energy to Earthquake or Earth Power, and then Noctowl could probably close out. Nidoqueen going to be forced to expend another Poison Fang here, but at this point it is so low that Noctowl, in what's usually more of a neutral matchup with this health advantage, Noctowl should be quite comfortable here. No Stone Edge to worry about. Earth Power has been revealed, and Noctowl wing attacks down, and just like that, Yodada 30 is your Taiwanese regional champion, and Game Bird is also going to be joining him at the Pokemon Go World Championships in Yokohama, August 11th through the 13th. Unbelievable plays, awesome catches, and a cool core breaker in Shadow Abomasnow that Yodada made good use of in this tournament. Very cool stuff, man. Really awesome plays, and thank you for sending me your footage and trusting me to bring this this tournament run to the viewing public. I've got another regional video that I will be releasing, and I still haven't made it yet, but I will be making in the coming days, and maybe by like Sunday at the latest. I'd like to get that video out there. But once again, congrats to Yodada. Congrats to Game Bird. Also, I believe Roger Chen was in the top 4, a well-known battler in the Taiwanese community, I believe. So awesome stuff, guys. Congrats, and I hope you guys watching at home enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. Comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you are new. All that said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.